TiPS, Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Here's your host, Fletch, with today's TiPS.
This week on TiPS, Today in Public Safety, closing the data gaps before school opens. Monday, August 24th, reduce the target. Hey everyone, it's Fletch. Welcome to Monday and this edition of TiPS, Today in Public Safety. You know, every year back to school week creates motion. New staff arrives, sports schedules go live, campus maps are refreshed, hopefully, maybe some construction photos get posted, and families search for names, numbers, and directions. Now, most of that information has got a legitimate purpose, but the risk shows up when dozens of harmless details all get assembled into one believable emergency story. The FBI described swatting as a malicious false report intended to draw a major law enforcement response to an unsuspecting location, and schools are among the targets. Now, the report may be an isolated attack or part of a larger coordinated effort against several locations. Now, the result? Not a prank. It can create armed confusion, divert responders from real emergencies, interrupt school operations, and traumatize the community. And most of all, it consumes scarce public safety capacity. Now, in this series, we're going to use the phrase potentially increases very deliberately. This back-to-school warning is a planning signal, not a verified national forecast for this or any other week. What we don't want to do is manufacture a statistic to justify sensible readiness. We need to know why information is exposed and who can verify facts, all when seconds matter. The attacker starts with open data. You know, a threat actor may start with an official staff page, an athletics roster, a public calendar, or a photograph that shows a badge, a room number, a security desk, or entrance. Personal data broker may connect a name to a home address or even a private phone number. A social media account that becomes compromised could add current location, family details, or private messages. And a poorly secured camera, intercom, or smart device can make that whole story more invasive. All the spam calls today prove that caller ID isn't proof of anything. The FBI notes that swatters use spoofing and may impersonate the victims through phone numbers, email accounts, or even social media profiles. Some attacks have used compromised smart home devices, and for schools, the comparable lesson is that a familiar number, a school-branded email, or a detail that sounds local is a lead to evaluate, not a reason to skip the response or trust the claim. Now, the goal is not to remove every name, every event, every useful piece of public information. No, the goal is data minimization. Publish just what serves real educational or public purpose, and protect what creates avoidable personal or organizational exposure, and then remove that information, especially the content that's obsolete. Build the exposure inventory. Now, this week we're providing you with a public exposure audit workbook. And I want you to go to the Public Exposure Audit tab and then start searching the school and district websites as an outsider would. Use incognito mode on your browser and review staff directories, downloadable PDFs, meeting packets, maps, newsletters, event pages, employment posts, as well as any archive pages and documents stored by third parties. Then review official and departmental social posts, especially including old photographs and videos. Then record the URL or source, the exposed data, and the operational reason why it exists. Then document the risk it creates and the person who's authorized to decide whether it should remain. Now, you need to specifically pay attention to private cell numbers, home addresses, personal email addresses, direct emergency contacts posted without need, information about detailed daily movement, high-resolution badges, and look for any readable access credentials, building control information, and outdated documents that contradict current campus names or layouts. Make sure you check the image and document metadata before publication, crop or blur information that's not meant to be public. and replace personal numbers with a managed office number where practical. Make sure you use role-based mailboxes for public contact and remove retired staff records and old emergency rosters. Be sure to ask vendors, booster groups, contractors, and partner organizations to correct any exposed or stale data they control. And where lawful and appropriate, affected staff can consider reputable services that help reduce personal information that get exposed by data brokers. But do your homework there. Now, the FBI specifically recommends reviewing online presence and considering resources that reduce or remove sensitive public available information. And remember, local policy, public records obligations, and counsel still apply. Harden accounts and smart devices. Now, exposure is not only a web page problem. The strong, unique password and multi-factor authentication on official accounts and personal accounts that are used for schoolwork is critical. Cameras, intercoms, smart building devices, routers, and administrative consoles need to be covered. Remove any shared credentials where possible, disable your unused accounts, and make sure all your supported devices are patched appropriately. Check devices for default passwords, confirm that recovery email addresses and phone numbers are still active and belong to authorized people. Be sure to review your forwarding rules, delegate access, third-party social media tools, and old mobile sessions. Be sure to separate your day-to-day accounts from privilege administration and protect registrar, athletics, transportation, security, and communications accounts because each one of those can contain location and scheduling data. Be sure to document who can publish emergency messages and how that authority gets recovered if the primary account gets compromised. Remember to teach staff, students, and families not to repost unverified threats, but preserve it, capture the original link, username, and date, and the message details. Then notify school authorities and law enforcement accordingly as it complies with the emergency operations plan. Remember, if immediate danger may exist, call 911. Reposting just erases context, spreads fear, and rewards the actor. And it makes official verification much harder. Pre-coordinate the callback path. So minimizing exposure is really only half the job. The other half is making trusted information available to the public through channels that are non-dependent on the caller. Schools should meet with their serving emergency communications center, law enforcement agency, and include school resource officers or campus police, and if possible, fire, police, and EMS partners, as well as any district emergency management lead. Go through and confirm the campus names and addresses that need to be used in dispatch. Make sure you identify a 24-hour school or district contact role, a verified primary number, and an alternate method that's maintained and answered. And never publicly publish that entire internal roster simply to make the plan convenient. Find out what local public safety policy will support. Some agencies can maintain contact information for the facility or specific response notes. Others may use different tools. But whatever it is, the record's gotta help responders establish contact without creating a label that causes a future threat to be dismissed. And remember, a history of hoaxes doesn't make that next call a false one. Your information needs to provide only the facility information that responders need. The correct site names, address aliases, gate or entrance terminology, and the identity of a school decision-maker role, and how a lawful preservation request is going to be handled. Monday's administrator assignment. Now, Monday's homework is this. I want you to complete the public exposure audit for at least one of your representative schools and the district office, and review the account hardening tab for your high-value accounts and connected devices. Then populate the coordination matrix with verified roles and channels, not personal information, copied into a public file. By the end of Monday's exercise, every exposed item should have a decision. Every critical account should have an owner, and every campus should have a maintained callback path. Now, you can't stop every hoax report for being placed. But you can make it harder to build, harder to impersonate, and much easier to verify safely. Now, on Wednesday, we're going to handle the moment the report arrives and what to do. This is Fletch, and that was this edition of TiPS Today in Public Safety. I've included a list of resources and links to valuable tools in the description of this video. Take care. We'll catch you next time. Hey, it's Fletch. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really hope you learned something new. Please remember to like and subscribe so you'll be notified of all of our new episodes. TiPS publishes 3 times each week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings at 8 a.m. Eastern. You can also listen to or read my blogs and other long-form content at fletch.tv, and my professional website with all my contact information is at fletch911.com. Once again, thanks so much for spending some time with me, and if you're in public safety, as always, thanks for what you do every single day. We'll catch you later. Take care.
You've been listening to TiPS Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Hosted by Fletch and available every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Catch past episodes on 911tips.com. I am Spider Harrison, the official 911 voiceover dude. No small animals were harmed in the making of this podcast. However, it may contain peanuts, or peanuts may have been used in its production. This content is void where prohibited or expressly forbidden by law. And by the way, I said peanuts.